Shirts and skins, let's get it. Yo. Shirts and skins and we back again. The best coverage in college sports, we come to win. With Brandon, Mark, and Matt, no one go hard as that. Share it with your folks and they'll learn where it all be at. It's just three of the guys, childhood friends that be setting the vibe. With a few hot takes, jokes, and predictions. Love the Boise State, we now welcome you to listen. Shirts and skins, let's go.
Would you guys agree that no one goes as hard as us, like he says in the song?
I think some people do. I think there's probably a lot of people that go harder. I mean, in what way? Like, what are we? I mean,
I don't know.
Hard to say.
It's just an interesting statement to make. No one goes hard as us.
In our defense, we didn't make that statement.
Oh yeah,
the guy
we didn't
that
provide the lyrics.
Yeah, he made it for us. I think he knew we went hard.
I think you could tell by our pictures on social media that we go pretty dang hard. Well, we're going hard today. It's a Sunday. It's the day after game day. Bronco Nation.
We're going hard for you.
I'm going pretty hard today. And I appreciate if you guys would go hard for me too.
Come on. I don't know.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. We appreciate the 1,000 plus, 1,200 plus people watching us on YouTube.
I'd say
that's a number drop right
there, 20
there,
or so people that
1,000,
watch it
12, yeah,
50 times each.
That works, right? That's how it works?
Yeah.
I just set it on repeat at home all week.
Yeah.
We get like 20 of them.
Mark's a bot,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. We are coming off a win, 28-21 over Nevada. Little surprising, one of those games. Weird. But we got a win, and we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
We're going to talk about a bunch of other stuff, too. Brandon Minor recently ran a 40-yard dash. If you didn't see a video.
I ran that. I ran it.
Yeah,
like
he did.
I ran it as fast as I could.
If you haven't seen it, go to our YouTube channel. The full video is there. We might drop a clip here.
We're going to drop a clip?
Yeah.
Well, whenever we want to talk about it, I'm ready.
Not yet.
I'm ready to talk about it. I've had a lot
We're
of
gonna
thoughts on
warm
that.
up to it, unlike how you warmed up for it.
Somebody was saying about Maddox, Mad Dog yesterday, and they said Maddox showcasing his Brandon 40 speed.
That was the group tweet.
Yeah.
Or in the group text, when
Fast.
they're like, Mad Dog has Brandon 40 speed.
You don't want that speed.
Mad Dog looks good scrambling. That was by far his best. Mad Dog
Hold on.
scrambling.
Hold on, what?
Who do we have over here?
What?
Mad Dog looked good,
No,
dude.
Mad Dog scrambling was by far
Mark
his
Moss. This is the surprise of the week. We talk about listeners of the week.
Hey, let's redo this. We need a mulligan. Mark,
Hey, now, come on,
giving
come on,
praise
come on.
to Mad Dog.
No, everyone saw it. He said it after the game. He struggled, but his scrambling ability has slowly gotten better.
Yeah.
And last night I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Can we just jump into it?
Yeah.
I want to know your unfiltered opinion of last night's game,
Oh, boy.
specifically of Mad Dog.
Brace yourselves.
No,
it's
it's probably
fine.
good if we would have. I'm actually feel quite muted.
Okay, no, Go back
really.
to what you were saying yesterday.
When? Oh, that's not appropriate for the.
Come on.
Yeah.
don't think
Will
I
the
can.
real Mark Moss
don't-
please?
Yeah, exactly.
Speak
No,
your-
I mean it's obvious. He didn't. He had a poor game. It's been a day, so I've calmed down.
What about the throws to Louder? What about the throw to Camper, Mark?
That's it. Throws the ladder, throws the camper. That's it.
No, what about
the
him?
sentence ended. What about him? What are you
the
talking
runs?
about?
What about the runs?
Oh,
The runs were nice. I like the runs. He scrambled well.
easily his worst game.
He didn't play well.
The interception and then the interception PI that got called off. That was not a good throw.
So we were all at the game
Yep.
in different places though. We didn't see each other at the
did.
game, right?
I
Did you
did.
see anyone? You guys did?
He came
had
down
a little
for a bit.
meetup.
I did a
came
dual
down.
shift.
Oh, you came down a little bit. Okay. I was gonna go
Double
up, but
shift.
I had two kids and two kids' friends with me, and had my hands a little bit full. And Stan Stein was there too, but
I was in the press box by myself,
yeah, sorry about that.
keeping it real.
Yeah. So it is hard when you're in the stadium. You don't get I haven't gone back and watched the TV view, but he didn't play well. He knows it. Everyone knows it. I don't have to, it's just kind of what he is. I mean, not that game was his worst game, but what he is thus far this season has been a roller coaster.
Really? I disagree.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'm just like
Keep going.
Yeah, I mean, he was under 50% against Oregon. He's been close to 50% 4 or 5 games, under at least 2 games. So it was his worst game. He played really, really good the week before. He didn't throw the ball great yesterday, but I thought his scrambling was good. Was actually really good. So he didn't lose the game again. Yep. He didn't take a sack.
Almost didn't lose the game.
Yeah,
almost lost the game.
Yeah, and that I've heard a lot of people, not to bounce around topics, but I've heard a lot of people. Why did Cutter call that pass play?
Yeah.
Come on, guys. He's called pass plays on 4th and 1, on 4th and goal, close all year long.
But that's first down, right?
This was a second down.
Yeah.
This was second down last night. I don't have a problem with call. I mean, granted, yes, give it to your Heisman potential running back and let him try and run it 3 times.
Period.
I agree.
Don't say anything else.
Well, but here's my thing. How many times could he have done that in the past and he decided to throw it and it was successful? So my issue was not the play call necessarily, although, yes, give it to Jeanty 3 times, he's going to get a touchdown. My problem was the pass. It was a horrible pass. Penry didn't really see it coming, whatever. Great play to make the interception, which that could have been an interception. I mean, the ball kind of moved a little bit, I guess, is what I'm hearing.
Almost like he caught it out of bounds-ish. It certainly looked.
And then it moved some more.
So that happened in the south end zone where me and my people were.
Okay.
Yeah, Brandon had a whole crew with him.
Yeah.
Really?
My mom included.
What?
Yeah.
They're good buddies.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. My son was there.
That was an eventful night. So Matt's mom was there.
An eventful night, and Matt's mom was there. Okay, let's keep going.
And there was a drunk lady that was just really getting so of note.
The drunk lady wasn't my mom.
Katie is Matt's mom.
Yeah.
She is a blast to watch football games with. Like
Shout out
she's
to
into
Katie.
it. She knows what she's talking about. She knows the situations. She's like on it.
She's been a Boise State fan for a really long time.
I love it. I love that. I love those types of fans, right? It's like you're not there just for the event. You're there because you know the things, right? You're there because you're invested in it. And she had the same complaints as me or as most of the fans. It's awesome. I love that.
Right on.
And there was a lady that had been a little loose with the beverages that started the game hugging everybody.
Oh,
Did you get a hug?
I got a lot of high fives. But I was 4 or 5 people down from her, and she was coming down hugging your mom. And they started dancing up and down, hugging, and it was hilarious. And then after a while, it got a little much. And then her husband kind of took her out of the game. Took her out of the game. It was a good time. So anyway, that pass happened down there.
okay.
Side note. Back to the game.
That's a side story. Kind of side. Anyway, so, I mean, you could tell because we were watching it straight on.
Yeah.
And he was rolling out. He was rolling out to his left, our right. And Penry's just kind of running. And it was a similar play that he threw to Strawn. And Strawn wasn't looking. And he threw it right at Strawn. And everybody's complaining about a PI. And it's like Strawn wasn't even looking.
Yeah.
Same with Penry. Penry's like not doing anything.
Yeah.
And I thought he was throwing it away. Because there was guys in front of him that said, okay, you can't scramble, you can't run it in. He threw it to Penry. From my perspective, I'm like, oh, he's trying to throw it away. And then they bop, catch. And I'm like, dude, if you're trying to throw it away, get that thing out.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I didn't understand that. I didn't understand a number of his throws last night. That one was...
The one over the middle.
The first interception?
Who was it to?
Yeah, who was it to?
Louder, but it was way over his head.
It was in between a couple... After the first 2 touchdowns, things, for whatever reason, just stopped. And, like, his throws in the second quarter were in between, in kind of like no man's land on a number of times. That one to Camper, I think that was in the third quarter, where it was like 3rd and short, and he just needed to pop it up.
Yeah.
And it's like, he was just way off. And, you're going to have games like that. Like, Grant Hendrick had a couple games like that.
Hedrick.
Hedwig.
No end.
Maddox, Madison.
9 of 20. That was a TG stat line yesterday.
Almost 3 picks.
Actually,
as many picks as he had.
It said 9 completions was the least we've had in a game since like 2017.
So I keep going back to this. If Jeanty is being slowed down, which Jeanty needs, like our offense, he needs to get 2 to 4 yards on first down. Like that's how our offense is built.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like ahead of the chains.
Yeah.
On third down. And
Because
so-
why? Because why?
Because we
Admit
struggle.
it.
in
Admit
that.
it. Why?
Yeah, yeah.
Why do we struggle?
Because they're quarterback?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the whole point was, I mean, we didn't struggle in certain games, but the whole point was that's how our strength is, right? And so Mad Dog's
Agreed.
not going to go out and beat everybody. Like,
Right.
but he beat San Diego State, and he contributed a huge factor, UNLV, and all this thing. That's fine. Last night, it fell apart. That portion fell apart, and Jeanty kept doing his thing. Although I think 34 carries, I think that workload you can see is not going to work, and I think missing Sire Gaines is probably one of the biggest substitutions that we're missing. You could see he's just wearing down, and they can't bring him out. I mean, Breezy runs into the line every time.
There's no
No,
lateral
runs
movement
right into
whatsoever. Yeah.
and you just think, we don't have a legitimate backup.
Well, Breezy
we
had
don't.
two runs for 7 yards total,
So here's
and Riley had 1 run for 3 yards.
We don't have a backup.
No,
we don't. And here's the thing though. Jeanty's going to be a first-round pick, okay? What if we just had a run-of-the-mill running back? Where would we be right now? I felt like
We'd have a couple losses for sure.
we'd have a couple losses, and
Southern Georgia.
the offensive
Southern
line.
Georgia. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Southern Georgia State, Southwest.
Southwest.
The offensive line really. It's been a lot of games. I feel like Jeanty's getting hit in the background.
Name the games we would have lost.
I think we would have lost Washington State. We
Okay.
ended up winning that one big, but that was all Jeanty.
It was all
There
Jeanty?
we would have lost this one. What was another close one? I don't know. We lost
Well, I
Oregon.
mean, you got to figure it changes the whole
UNLV.
dynamic of
it just
UNLV.
changes everything. Yeah, UNLV for
Oregon,
sure. So,
obviously, it changes the.
but
dynamic
I
a
don't
lot.
know how bad those I don't know how bad those running backs are, or if Jeanty is just that good that he's covering up for.
Sire Gaines was
How
good.
many holes he was, but
Sire
we
Gaines was
only
really
really
good.
saw him in.
2 games, 1.5.
Yeah, I mean he didn't even play at Oregon. What did he get? 4 or 5 carries, right? And they got hurt early in the Portland State
I thought
game.
he got. Well, we played. I thought we.
He
played
got hurt in the
Portland
third
State
game.
second.
No, we played Oregon second.
Oh, and then we played
So
Portland
yeah,
State.
so he looked really good at Georgia. So I think Gaines is good. I'm not saying he's not, but I thought the offensive line looked amazing at Georgia Southern. Remember that? Remember those holes Jeanty was running
Of
through?
course, yeah.
Yes.
So anyways,
I think that's the biggest. I don't know how big of a factor missing all of our offensive linemen.
it's a big one. It
But
seems
I
big.
think
Big deal.
spelling Jeanty, I mean, I think you can tell those 14 or 13 or 12 extra carries he may have been getting, that Sire Gaines may have gotten. You can tell he's slowing down. He's like taking hits and he's getting really beat up by the end of the game. And that's to me, man, they've never given an update on Sire Gaines, what happened to him, right?
No, I think it's like
Why?
possibly end of
But
season.
okay,
return.
by now it's an end of season,
Yeah. Well,
right?
we
He's
got
just redshirt.
3 games left.
Yeah. So like, I wish they would have said, and they never said with Bad Dog either last year. Like what ended up happening? He's just injured.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of injury.
So
updates.
that to me is starting to wear.
I said to you, Brandon, when they're lifting Jeanty up after he gets tackled, it seems to be slower and slower, and it's like, man, one of these times, is he not going to get up?
Right.
Not to jinx anything, but it just seems like, the wear and tear it's showing up, and it's taken. You look at the bottom of the pile, and he's like, I got to get up and do this. All
And
over
I wouldn't
again.
say
Can
he
I go
got,
back when you're?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
The point being is when they're queuing in on Jeanty and we stall on the run, we have to be able to make first downs with the wide receivers, and it just was. Camper was the only wide receiver that had and Caples missed one through his arms.
Yeah.
And so there was a few
Strawn
things they
missed
missed.
one too through
and
his
you just
hands.
think, dude, if they're off, that's how the offensive
We
just
had
falls
3
apart.
receivers,
Yeah.
3
Jeanty,
3
Louder, and
pass catchers.
Linehan.
Louder,
Linehan.
Camper.
another solid game.
Hey, which brings us. Can we go to that right now?
I had a couple people text me about Linehan.
Can we go to the listener of the week?
Go to the listener of the week.
We're going to listener
Go
of the week
for
right
it.
now.
Yeah.
This one comes from Idaho 27. I don't know your name.
Okay.
Says about time y'all mentioned Linehan. He's been huge all year.
All year.
Yes.
He's been fired, dude.
Thanks for giving something to laugh at while cleaning out the garden for
Yeah.
the winter.
Yeah.
Well, Linehan.
That's what we do.
There was another one in there too, and I don't remember who it was. That said he watched the game with Linehan, and then he listened to our thing and was laughing
The
about
fact
it.
that
He was gonna
the
send it
name
to him.
just popped into my mind.
was funny.
Timely. Hashtag
Here-
timely.
He's a good player.
Here's my biggest problem with the receiver, quarterback, whatever situation is. It wasn't just last night. I feel like there's been multiple games that were
Oregon?
like Oregon.
What
no,
else?
there's been several UNLV where we're
Okay.
like we're not getting separation, whatever. But the glaring thing about last night was it wasn't Oregon and it wasn't UNLV, whose team is basically Power 4, transfers. This was Nevada, who's 3-8, who's 0-5 in league, had no business being in the game whatsoever, and our receivers couldn't get open. Madsen was missing, whatever it was. They're not good. Nevada. I get that Choate probably had him rah and ready to go. I get that, and it's Nevada Boise State rivalry. I get that. We saw it with a lot of rivalry games yesterday that those things happen, but when you start nitpicking, it's like we weren't winning one-on-ones. Choate's speech in the locker room shouldn't have to do with why Prince Strong can't get open. They're bad. Nevada's not good.
So somebody posted on Twitter, they were like, here's all the games that we were close in the Kellen Moore era.
Okay.
There was 4 games that we were playing bottom of the barrel teams in the group of 5.
And they were close.
Very close.
Okay.
1 touchdown. We were ranked 5th in the nation. We barely beat Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We barely beat San Jose State. We barely beat Nevada.
happens.
We were
It does happen.
Ranked in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get it.
Yeah.
I'm not really going to blame the. I've given the receivers a lot of extra, I don't know, rope, whatever you call it.
Cut 'em some
slack.
slack.
You're
I've
giving
cut them a
some-
lot of
okay.
slack this season
All right.
just because I feel like in San Diego State was probably their best game combined just because they were like, hey, we're going to pass it this game. And so they were anticipating passes a lot more. When you're run blocking, and then for example, Strawn and Penry, they're out there basically blocking the defender and they throw the ball to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're just not ready for it, some of these plays.
They're
And
like, whoa, it was a pass play.
It's a pass play, kids, And so if Mad Dog's off, I guess I give him some slack there. I think Mad Dog was really, really off last game. So I just don't know if they weren't getting, I don't know,
He
separation
was
or.
Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week last
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Did it go to his head?
It's an off game. We've all played sports. We've all
And
had
I don't
off
think
games.
Mad Dog's that kind of guy, but
No.
man, it was night and day from
It
last
was.
game to
He
this game.
almost had 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about as bad as you could put. That Hedrick had 4 interception games that year, which, man, you can't do much worse than that. But anyway, what else do we want? How else do you want to talk about the offense? What are your thoughts overall of the offense during the game?
I mean, let's talk about Jeanty. Right? I mean, we have to talk about him.
That
get to talk
200,
about
I was
209 yards.
when he had the 199 or when he was 174, whatever it was, lead, and I'm like, get to 200.
Yeah.
Get to
You
200. I
got to.
wanted that so bad, and he got there, and it looks good. It shows on the. I was watching a game later after I got home. It's on the bottom. Jeanty 210, whatever it was,
209.
3 touchdowns.
Had a fumble.
He had a fumble. Doesn't say that though.
Didn't say it.
It
Nobody
did
will know
mention
that.
Cam Ward's fumble because it was an end
was
of
a
the
big
gamer.
one.
Cam Ward.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. Yeah,
But,
it was crucial.
Jeanty's just Jeanty, man. We do need to spell him. That his fumble, he was holding it in that hand, in that
I
arm.
understand.
And
You
that
know,
thing's
I
gotta-
don't understand. Dylan Riley.
Yeah.
Bad game last night.
Oh, that kickoff.
Yeah, hey, that's one thing we do need to talk
Eesh.
about is special teams.
It's bad
Is-
and not getting better. I mean, it's not giving up 2
Stacey
touchdowns.
Collins had a lot of hype.
Dude,
And
Lot of hype.
we had 2 muffed kicks. Mm-hmm. Coming out.
Caples dropped one. And
That was a punt.
Yeah.
And then the kickoff where it's like, hey, we're coming out at halftime. We get the ball. Let's do this thing. And was it Riley?
It was Dylan Riley.
Dude,
Riley.
we got so lucky. That
Goes
thing
right-
bounced
yeah.
around and it was in Nevada.
And then it was
players'
going to be
hands.
on the 3, and then it turned out being on the 5-yard line, and we ended up
scoring.
scoring,
Yeah.
which was big. But it's the highlights of special teams are JFR and Dalmas.
Yeah.
But when you look at kickoffs, when you look at returning punts or kick coverage, it's bad.
It's bad, and we've talked about the strategy multiple times. Okay, last night we scored a touchdown. We get the personal foul penalty, so they take it back 15 yards, right?
This was crucial.
Why would you not just kick it out of bounds and have them get it at the 35?
Does it go to the 35 if you kick it out no matter what? Or is it 15 yards or 10 yards above?
I don't know.
So I was,
no.
I was also thinking that as well.
Yeah. Well, where would it be? Would it be because you're 15 yards back? It would be the 50, maybe. Seems like a weird rule, but maybe.
I think we all knew that kickoff return was going.
It was huge, and then they scored a touchdown, right?
Yeah. I was talking to Matt's mom, like I was most of the game.
I believe it. I believe it.
And I'm like, we should have just onside kicked it there. You know what I mean?
It would have been a better.
It's like we should have, because they returned it to like the 30 or the 25. In my opinion, with special teams being struggling, the confidence isn't there. In my opinion, need to do something to mix up get out of their mind, because they're just thinking too much, right? Throw in a trick play on the return, get them excited for something, get them excited, do something different than you're doing, because doing the same thing over and over and over, it's just not working. It's not being fixed, right? And so
it's like, is the real special team highlight of the year when Riley ran back the
that's
kick?
it.
Is that it?
For sure.
Well,
We
on the
had-
return.
yeah,
But we're
Is
not,
there anything else?
But we're not blocking.
There's no block
We're not
kicks.
blocking punts. We're not blocking
The
kicks.
punt returning has been a complete
We're not
disaster.
blocking on that.
Cooper,
Go backwards,
Cooper, whatever.
Cooper Cup.
No, not Cooper Cup. What's his name?
Yeah.
He's always back there, but he never returns
And
it.
so they got Caples back there, and then he
Caples
muffs
is
one,
back
and then
there.
he catches one and goes backwards. I mean, it's like not good.
Well, on the
not
punt,
good.
it seems like all they want is catch it and don't lose yardage. Like catch it is the number one goal, right? and then
we're okay at that.
but it's almost
Sometimes, but not all the time.
yeah. But it's like we're just like, don't screw it up. And if that's the attitude that we have, we're never going to do great.
Well, last year we didn't even try. Remember,
No.
we just
Exactly.
didn't even try to return
Exactly.
anything. It was that bad. And then let's go pay a bunch of money. And he's had success, so obviously, but you've got a lot of guys to choose from, personnel wise.
Yeah.
It's not like you're stuck with your 6 cornerbacks and that's what you got. I mean, you got a lot of guys that can contribute. And
Yeah.
and I don't know if they're trying different guys or whatever, but it's it's been a mess.
Yeah.
It has.
It
been
lost
nice.
one game. It lost our one game, and there's been a few close
Yeah,
calls.
I just
Interesting.
personal opinion is you got to mix it up.
Yeah,
After a while, you
makes
got to
sense.
mix it up because
Yeah.
it's just not working at that.
Yeah.
Defense. That long pass that Zion Washington gave up to me was brutal.
So the difference to me with this year's team and last year's team is that we're in position more often than not to make plays on the ball. Whereas last year, remember, we were running behind guys. Do you remember that? Like
Yeah.
all the time. I don't feel like that happens a whole lot. Zion was right there.
He was right there.
And there was 2 or 3 other ones that were right
I think
there.
I
It's like
actually-
make a play on the ball.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that step by step. But I actually think McCoy has come out to be one of our better corners. Right? Like he's shutting guys down.
Yep.
It is stupid. All of the celebrations we do when the receiver just drops it and we get up and celebrate.
That deep one, that 50-yard one.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
that
about?
he probably should have caught.
Oh, it was in his hands. Our guy was
and
running.
you get up and I celebrate if you stop it. Like if you knock it out, if you pick it off, celebrate then. But
Yeah, and do the sigh of relief if he just drops it.
just like, whew.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah. Rather than
because that's what
seatbelt.
we're doing.
Yeah.
We're like, you're not locking them up, dude. You're like getting lucky on a couple of those. So I don't know, and I don't know if Tubner's gonna play.
He didn't look good. He was on crutches and a brace.
Crutches and a
knee
brace.
Yeah.
It's not good.
So we don't know, but that's never a good sign.
Yeah, and I wonder about Benefield because it seemed like his stock was higher last year.
And in the offseason,
He's not bad,
Nah.
but
Well, he's playing. I'm not gonna. But
yeah, we don't even bag on him. But I
it
don't
feels
know.
like he's in the mix when a lot of things kind of.
Oh, dude, that double pass they had on it, that was a comedy of errors trying to tackle him. Because we had a shot at tackling him a couple
Yeah.
times. And it
Yeah.
was like, ding, 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 ding,
Yeah.
ding, and you're like, oh, man. We can't even.
Yeah, that was. I don't know. I don't know about him. I mean, he looks the part. He's wearing the number 0 back there. He looks the part. Feels like his coverage skills at times are lacking. He had a lot of tackles, but he's in position to make a lot of tackles. But then you feel like he's one of the ones that's getting whiffing a little bit. I did see number 14 after Tubner went out. Is Kaniho the backup? I saw him out there.
I have no idea.
He was playing in crunch time. So
That's got to
there's
make
something
you
to look forward
worried.
to.
Mark gets excited about it. What do we think about the Choate situation?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
I want to talk about that because it seemed like that fourth down call where
Yeah.
they scored on it,
Yeah.
caught us off guard.
Yeah.
It felt like they had more of an edge.
They did.
Is what it was like, where we were just trying to outlast the game, I guess, and hold on.
You know, we were winning 14-0, and we all kind of had the same feeling. I think that even our team had the same feeling, like we got it, right?
Yep.
And then, oh, that didn't work, and oh, that's not working. And then they score, and then oh, wow, we're tied. And now it's just kind of, we got into a dogfight when it didn't need to be a dogfight. I think it surprised everybody. And, you know, anytime you give them momentum, it just gives them more and more and more power and confidence that they can do it. I don't know. You saw Choate at the end of the game, right?
The handshake?
Yeah. Should we play that? Like, you know, we can overlay it here. We'll play it. It bugged the hell out of me, dude.
Yeah.
Did it?
It did.
Huh.
And
Why?
you saw
It was like
Yeah,
a
I saw
screw
it. I
you
saw it.
handshake is what I felt like.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, why? I mean, what was he pissed at? A call, right? Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about the calls, by the way. But, like, dude.
He probably was pissed at a couple goals,
Okay.
actually.
I know, but
it's not like it's Danielson's fault.
It's not Danielson's fault. And so I guess I think it's stupid. I think it shows poor sportsmanship from a guy that, you know, I want to respect.
Yeah.
I think it's good that we have coaches that we all can get around and say, wow, we hate that jerk, because it brings more emotion. I'm not saying we hate Choate. Did you see Jerron Johnson was
I
getting
saw
after
that.
fans?
Yeah.
Like, no, hey, stop hating
His
on Choate.
ex-players really like him.
Yeah, okay.
really
Well,
like
it doesn't
him. Really
mean
vouch
that I
for
have
him.
to like him. It doesn't
Right.
mean that I have to, like,
Yeah.
you know, be like,
And-
oh, sorry.
And the Choate storyline, I think, you know, when you talk about rivalries, I didn't feel like this was a rivalry game. It had a little hint of it because of the Choate factor, which I appreciated, but there was that side of me that I was like, I don't like this guy.
Yeah. My son and I were driving to the game, and he's like, who are we playing? I said, Nevada. And he's like, oh, so it's a rivalry game. And I said,
Your
well,
son?
kind of a rivalry. I mean, we've beaten them 20
Out
out of the last 22.
Something like
and
that.
he's like, oh, so it's a rivalry like between a hammer and a nail? I was like, yeah, dude, that's exactly right. That's a perfect description of it.
The Choate, I don't know if it, the first time I saw it, I was like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But at the same time, like, he's a highly passionate guy.
Yeah, I appreciate it for sure.
I'm glad he's not our coach.
I agree
His
with
whole
that, yeah.
shtick, his whole MO is not my deal. I mean, he's
that's an old
he's
school
tough guy,
MO, yeah.
whatever, and like I think we've said before, I think he's a good coach that can take a crappy situation and bring it up to moderate to maybe half past moderate. I don't see him being a coach with his deal taking a good program to elite. I just, for whatever reason, the way his style,
He's never gotten a chance at it, right?
Yeah, well, right. But so we'll see. We'll see how his career goes. But just I watched a couple of the interviews throughout the week leading up to it and stuff, and he was complimentary. But there's just this part of him that's just kind of annoying. It is. I think we all kind of. I can't describe it, but I think everyone knows what I'm talking
But he's a
about.
competitor, and I
He's
think
a
that's the part
competitor.
you
I
appreciate
respect
about
that,
it.
yeah.
But there's different styles
thing-
of competitiveness.
The thing I like about it is, you know, we don't know or have any emotion towards 90% of the coaches in the Mountain West.
True.
You know, I don't even know half, like San Diego State.
Bronco Mendenhall?
Bronco Mendenhall should be interesting. Okay, that one. And then Niumatalolo and San Jose State, they're having a pretty good year.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, Utah and I guess Bowles was in Wyoming for a long time. It's like you just don't have any emotional connection. And
Right.
Matt was telling a story. Matt went up to the roof of the Stuckel Sky on
I
accident.
did. Well, not an
Well,
accident.
he went up instead of down.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was
he's
like,
up
I'll
there.
do it. I'll go up.
And
Well,
then
up there.
I guess there was a exchange.
Well, somebody had pushed the button to go to the roof, and they're like, "Hey, it's going up, but it's going to go back down, like elevators do."
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
that's how they work.
So just hang in there.
and so I was like, "Yeah, let's do it. Let's check it." So we go up. The door opens, closes. Not that cool.
Okay. Was it like
but there was an exchange on the elevator where there's these two Nevada fans. They've got the all access passes. I don't
what are
know.
they doing up there?
Yeah, I don't know. And then a Boise State guy.
A Boise State
It looked like
fan?
a fan. Could have been former player. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know who it was. I don't know his name.
Okay.
But they're like, hey, good game. It was like a really good game so far. And he's like, yeah, but I'm just not a UNR fan.
Yeah.
He said that to
I
him?
love that, dude.
Our guy did?
I love that guy. Whoever that guy is, I love him.
Yeah, I don't like your school.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah, he's like, but I don't really like UNR.
he's like, sure. And then they're like, oh,
And
Okay.
they're like, well, we don't really like Boise. And
Yeah.
it's just like, okay. But the fact that he called them UNR was great too.
I love how all the ex-players are like, call it Reno. And
I love that.
that is funny.
I really like that a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we're not going to be playing them much
Yeah.
in the pack.
And I don't really care.
8, 9.
You never know how
Snack
things
pack.
change, but yeah.
Anything
rivalries
else
come
from the
and go.
game? What do you cover?
Let's see, from the game itself.
Can I talk about the atmosphere?
Well, okay. Tubner injury. Oh, we talked about that. We
Blitz,
talked about
Blitz, the
My bad.
T-Dog lost the race.
Yeah, I called that. I was like, this guy, he looks serious.
Well,
Yeah,
the
but-
person that ran last week had a satchel on, and they didn't take it out for the race. And it's like,
That's no good.
what are we doing?
This guy, he threw a doggy toy. Did you see when he
Oh.
ran?
Oh, he did.
It was a
tried-
distraction.
Oh, smart.
The dog didn't take it, but I saw him throw it.
Smart.
Smart, dude.
Yeah,
I like that
smart.
guy.
But yeah, the dog missed the tee like 2-3 times.
Yeah,
or
when you go
something,
flying
but,
past the tee and you
and then
overrun
miss it again.
I like that the guy
yeah.
tried to handicap the race a little bit.
He needs to bring like a raw steak or something,
Oh, dude. If you could stay committed and there's like
or
raw
a cooked steak.
or cooked steak or burger or whatever
Yeah.
it is, my dog would immediately stop. She's there.
Or a cat. Bring a cat.
So we
Environment,
It was my
atmosphere.
son's first time to a game this year,
Okay, gotcha.
and he's like, we were there and it was a blackout. It wasn't cold, which
Yeah,
was awesome.
It was fine, yeah.
For typically late November night games, they get pretty cold. This one was amazing. Blackout, incredible. And when you have a blackout and the lights turn off, it just makes it that much better. So number one, I love that. Number two, I love Boise in the fall. I mean, there's very few places IMO that are as beautiful as like the color of the leaves changing and just the dark greens. I just want to put that out there. I'm sorry, I love it.
This is
okay?
Brandon going Bob Ross
I'm sorry.
on us.
I really do love that.
Some
Get the
happy
music going.
trees.
I do. Okay, but the game itself, right? We were, when they turn off the lights and you turn on your phone flashlight.
Dude, I lost battery the number of times we had to do that.
My son, the first time's like, oh, this is amazing. This is so cool. And then did it again. It's like, okay, this is fun. And then by the fourth quarter, we're like, what are we doing, dude? We're
They overplayed
overusing
it. They overplayed it. Twice
was-
in a game. Twice in a game.
It
have
was
the fans get it
probably
out.
2 or 3 times a quarter.
It wasn't that much, but it
I
was.
don't know. We did a
If
6
you-
or
7 or 8
if you go-
on the game.
There you
Listen,
go. Twice a
If
quarter.
you ask for it more than 2 times, you supply the flashlights. You know?
Okay, yeah. It's
Everyone
like,
gets a flashlight under their seat.
I just felt like
Yeah.
at the end, even my son's like, what are we doing? It's just like overusing this thing.
Yeah.
It just wasn't as cool by the end.
Oh yeah,
And by the last 3 or 4 times, it wasn't as cool.
it was overplayed.
One question
It was.
for you. Your thoughts on the sound system?
Oh yeah, sitting over there, was it a little loud? Being in the south end zone, I
It
could
was
see that.
brutal.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's bump him.
It sounds great when you, but I was like, man, if you're
you're
sitting
away
over there,
from
that
it.
would be
Dude,
really loud.
In the south end zone, you get the loudness
And the feel.
and the echo.
Yeah. Well, the bass, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
And we were sitting pretty high up,
Why don't
right underneath.
Is that an acoustic thing? Why don't you
On the sides?
do other
I don't get-
stadiums have
What echo are you talking about? I don't get the echo.
It would echo off the south or the north end zone
and come back?
I
Yeah,
thought
it
it was
would
just
come
2
back.
different sound systems.
No,
I
there's
thought-
only one
Yeah.
sound system.
Just the
it's
south?
only the
Yeah.
south.
And
Oh,
so
I thought
you'd-
it was delayed.
No.
you'd hear
Yeah. So you hear the
announcer,
I didn't know that. I
you'd hear
haven't
the
been there.
PA guy, and then you hear his echo come off.
No
the
I
mic.
way.
legitimately
Yeah.
thought there was 2 sound systems and one was delayed.
I
Well,
don't
that was
think
my
so,
question:
but
is in other stadiums, do they have speakers throughout the stadium, or does it have to
know.
be only in one so it
I'm-
doesn't screw up the audio
I'm
or something?
down with it. If you have a dome and having it in the middle,
yeah,
I
that'd
would
be nice.
prefer that.
Sure.
Because everybody in the South,
They get all of it.
our
the
ears
noise.
are
I can
dead
see
after
that.
a while.
I can see that.
And so that's tough.
But it is great. Like
It
it's
is great if you're on the
it
east or
is.
the
If you're
west.
not in the south, it's great. It's a
Yeah.
big time upgrade throughout the stadium. other than
I
that.
do
Real quick.
yeah.
I was in the press box because you were like, "Hey, can you hear this up there?" And I was like, "Well, they closed the glass, so you can't really hear it. You can't
Yeah.
really hear much of anything." And then I went back up there,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Oh yeah, you can hear
Yeah.
it."
Hear what? Hear what?
The speakers from
Oh,
the,
gotcha.
and it was like buzzing from the bass.
Yeah, well, all of us were yelling at each other just even.
Oh, wow.
In a November game too, I felt bad because we all have gloves on, clapping.
Yeah. 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 It's a little
really
different.
loud.
You can't really clap. The lines were massive.
Lines are always massive.
Bathroom?
Is this the first time you've been this year or what?
This year, yeah. But
Down in the
in
stadium?
the prior years, maybe it's just because they weren't sold out all the time. You could get in. So we got in line for pretzels. In second quarter, 8 minutes left.
You can't
Did
do
Jackson
it, man.
get in line with you?
Can't do it.
Jackson went before, and he came back, and I was
Do
like,
it.
"Were the lines long?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, they're
You
long."
can't
So
do it. You got to get there early. You just
get
cannot
there
get
early. We got there before the halftime. We're like, we
No,
can't
no,
be
I'm
this stuck
saying-
in there at halftime. So
Before the game,
we
Mark.
get in the Bavarian pretzel line, and it was really long.
Is that the stuffed pretzels?
They just sell soft pretzels. That's it. That's all
it.
they sell.
That's all they sell.
They should just be bump, 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 bump,
Yeah.
bump, bump. Get in. We're getting it's drawing down to halftime. We get about 5 or 6 people from the front of the line.
no.
They
Oh,
come
no.
out. We're out.
No.
We're out.
Oh.
And we're like, dude, this sucks. So you turn around. There's long lines everywhere, right? And
Oh.
so we're like, okay, what isn't a long line? So we go over to the popcorn stand. Nobody there. $14
For what?
For the bag of like
for the
kettle
bag
corn.
of kettle corn.
Yeah, I mean,
It's a rich man's game.
we've
dude.
gone.
Do you want me to give you an update on the buffet?
Oh, yeah. What
Oh,
was
the
the
buffet.
Don't tell me.
Don't. It's not. It is what it is. The buffet is what it is.
Yeah.
There was one new addition.
Oh,
Well,
They were
what was that?
they weren't like chicken fingers. It was like a big
like
chicken
a big nugget.
Oh, like a large
But-
nugget, like a tender, chicken tender.
Yeah, maybe
Ish.
like a chicken tender.
Okay.
But they're
tender.
sitting in those things that have the lids on them,
little
so
soggy.
they get soggy.
Oh, I hate the soggy
It's-
breaded. Oh, dude, that's like school, like what you would
Cafeteria,
get at
man.
cafeteria,
but
man.
it's free.
Do you not get anything in the game?
Mark goes first.
I
They
I
go
get there early.
How early is early?
I'm getting in the stadium at least 30 minutes before kickoff,
Because what
and I go right to the line.
concession. Not
Get
that
everything
long.
we're gonna get.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a line, but you're not worried. You're not stressed because the game's not going on. You're not missing anything, and so it's still a 10-minute line.
Yeah,
but
not
it's
too bad.
Yeah, but yeah, I quit. I'm not even trying it. I've stood in a line through an entire quarter once. I was
just-
so pissed off. I'm never doing it again.
You know what I forgot is you have to have a strategy. That's what I forgot.
that's my strategy. So there you
and
go.
and so when you're coming into a game, you got to know the timing. You're like, get in at this point, do
Yeah.
this at this time, and it's
you
just
got
have to-
punched in the mouth. Everybody's got to play until they get punched in the mouth. That
didn't,
was
dude.
gotta
I
be
was
my
in the
pretzel line.
bacon mouth, dude.
I was freaking dazed.
Dude, and I mean, talking about the concourse, so normally I do my own thing. I know where I park, I get in, whatever. We went with my dad, which is great. Went with my dad. We parked over where he has a permit over at the St. Luke's building or whatever. So we come in on the east side, but we're sitting on the west side. Okay? Does that make sense? Getting out of the stadium. You don't try and walk around on the
No.
in the concourse after the stadium, dude.
I
It's
went
a
on the south or
freaking
the-
mosh pit.
I
north?
went to go.
I've never
from
done that.
The press box to meet up with Brandon in the south end zone,
Yeah.
like right before half or during half. That place is so
Yeah,
crowded.
Oh my gosh!
Are you
After the
talking
game, because
about the
everyone's
south or the north?
so
Which
we're
side?
sitting on the west side.
Yeah.
So we
Which way did you go? North or south?
we went south
Yeah, that's
around
where
the
we're sitting.
south.
Yeah.
And then left through the east side.
How many kids did you have?
Horrible. 4 kids. They're all 5 foot and under, and we're trying. And my dad's, and it's just like so slow. I was like, that was a horrible idea.
So do we need bigger concourses?
bigger concourses. It's just
Can't do much.
We know Jeremiah Dickey's great. We know he's trying his best. I'm not going to rag on him, but it's a mess. I mean, you have to plan where to come in, where to leave, when to get your food, and I normally do, but we were off a little bit and it was like getting out of the stadium after the game.
I'm surprised
it
you
was
didn't-
a 15. Yeah, we should have just left the east side and walked around on the outside.
Yeah.
for sure. But
Can-
it's the antiquated situation in there.
Can I give an update on Jeremiah Dickey and his interactions with us on Twitter?
Oh, we had one?
really?
Well, I tweeted. So there's the announcement, the Jeremiah Dickey,
Yeah,
Jeremiah
yeah.
and Elizabeth.
Okay.
Is that his wife?
That's cool. That is
The
cool.
scholarship that they do.
Well, so yeah.
Go.
I mean, it was like sponsored by a donor, too.
Right.
So
Their name's
still-
on
it'll be
it.
interesting to see what the split is on that.
Their
But go
name's
ahead.
on it, and they're doing
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Mark's
No.
trying to poo-poo on everything.
I'm just being honest. It was like in collaboration with
Yeah,
this
it-
member. It's
Well,
like,
did
well,
he go out and ask the member, or did the member approach him?
members
or how-
paying for it, part of it.
Okay.
I don't know. It's just interesting to know how much.
You're just clarifying that it's not just Jeremiah.
It's not just
saying,
Jeremiah.
Hey, this
Yeah.
is
It
my-"
is. It's
Okay.
important.
So I just said, hey, this is awesome. Appreciate what you and your family
Under
do.
yours or
I
shirts
did it under
and
shirts
skins?
and skins,
Thanks, Pat.
Trying to get some goodwill.
and he liked it.
Oh, we liked it.
So there's something.
There is something.
There's
You're telling
little
me there's
ma-
a chance.
That's what I said. There's a little magic in the air.
I saw your tweet. Was it Mark? Was it something Mark said? Was that to him? Like in a some time
was
ago.
to
That was a DM.
saw
To
that in our
Jeremiah, you did?
DMs.
You DM'd him that Mark sucks? Is that what you did?
No, when I invited him to come on the podcast,
And he
we
didn't-
talked about this.
And
Yeah.
he didn't
And
say
then he
anything.
didn't say anything. And then I
Like,
just wrote
was
back
it
and said,
Mark?
was it something Mark said?
That wasn't helpful. Dude, that wasn't helpful, man.
Well,
I wish you would have kept going. We hate him too. Mark sucks. Mark sucks.
it's totally understandable if it was something Mark
'Cause
did.
I wish you would have been like, because we can kick him off. We can get rid of him.
Yeah, you just say the word.
Just say the word.
Get rid of me and then bring in Dickey. Yeah. That might be worth it.
I don't know. It is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
Jordan Kay said we have the best experience.
I know
ever.
that was interesting for him to say that, so we're probably just complaining. But
Yep.
and back to finish up with the game, right? I mean, yeah.
I was
We
just
don't
going
have
to
any more
say, if
analysis.
you're an opposing team coming to Boise State, don't you think that's a treat for them? I mean,
Yeah.
all the fans there. If you're in Nevada, you don't get that in your home
no
crowd?
Nothing.
I would say football wise, we have the best experience.
Right.
Maybe not basketball because there's the Pitt or San Diego State or
Football,
whatever.
yes.
100%.
But football, we have
But I
to
just
have
think
the best
around the
experience.
Mountain West, I don't know about, I'm not saying college football,
No,
Yeah, the Mountain West.
but
Yeah.
Mountain West for sure.
Yeah,
where it's
I would
like,
agree with that.
Oh, 100%.
well, I don't think the competition is very tough.
No.
You
I
got
think
San
Color-
Jose State. You're like, what? Who goes to their games?
Well, in San Diego State, they're playing on the sand.
Dude.
You know, it's like it's
I
like
didn't
they
see it.
They
What
had
happened?
to move. Didn't they move
soccer team-
Soccer. Yeah.
had a home playoff game or something like that, or game
It's
to go to the
Mount-
playoffs.
It's the Mountain West. I thought the Mountain West Championship was supposed to be there.
Oh, it's in San Diego, but it's
Not
playing at
there.
a different facility.
I
But
know that there was an event,
No,
soccer,
it was-
that was supposed to be there, Snapdragon
yeah,
Stadium.
a professional women's soccer game. And
Yeah.
They're like, we can't play on this. It's that bad.
It's so
So they
bad.
went to the opposing team. They went to Louisville
Yeah.
to play the game. It's that bad.
didn't- so
How do
you
you
were-
screw up this? I don't understand grass
field?
a ton, but how do you screw it up that bad?
It's grass with a bunch of sand underneath it.
So wait, when you were
it's
watching it, was there just sand going?
Sand
Everywhere.
flying everywhere.
Everywhere.
That's dangerous.
It doesn't
Yeah.
seem
There was a
good.
while where I think it was 8 or 9 years ago. We were watching a game and the grass had like grafts underneath it. So but it was really loose. So it would come up in clumps with the grafts of like plastic mesh. And the guys were like in a stance throwing mesh stuff out of the way, and you're like, what is?
Yeah, they asked Sean Lewis, that's their head coach, right? San Diego State's
Yeah,
head coach.
yeah, Sean Lewis.
About it in the presser. They're like, do you have anything to say about the condition of the field? And he dodged the question. Was
Yeah.
like, we're doing the best we can, but it is bad.
It's bad, yeah. It's like, come on. But I think Colorado State has the potential. I mean, that's what, going on 40 years of potential, but they have a brand new stadium that's really nice, right? It's really nice, brand new. It's got the lights, it's got everything. I think Fresno State is actually a good place to play. I think
That's
it's a
true.
dump, but it's like crazy. Like
That's
it's
true.
full a lot of times,
Yeah.
and the fans are nuts.
Yeah.
So I think that they have a distinct home field.
You know, but
advantage
Mountain
as well.
West fans don't travel very well.
They don't.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I saw like a couple Nevada people. The only fans that ever show up here was BYU because they all live, so many people lived here. But
Or U of I back
they're
in the
not
day.
in Mountain West. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But we one thing to say, we are spoiled. We've been called spoiled before, but I think what we have here obviously is amazing and it's awesome. So
Can
Yeah.
I talk
Appreciate
about
it.
something else?
Yeah, we wrapped up the game, right? Basically, it was kind of a stinker, but we won. Teams go through that.
And that's what you
We
got to do
the
every
win.
week.
And at this point, really, in the position we're in the college football playoff, it doesn't. Style points don't matter. They really don't matter. We're gonna drop. I'm pretty sure we're gonna drop a point. We did today in the AP poll.
13?
We're 13. I think we're gonna drop. It doesn't matter. It does not matter because we're gonna stay above Army. Now, if Army can somehow beat Notre Dame, now there's something to talk about. But it feels kind of good. Style points matter for Jeanty and for the Heisman. But for winning the game, just win the next three, and we control our own destiny, which feels good. There's been years in the past where it's like, oh, we got to win, we got to beat out Memphis, we got to look good. It doesn't really matter at this point.
It was political season this last week.
Did something happen?
We
this
had an
last
election.
week? Okay.
Well, on that note, there's politicians seem to kind of flop back and forth on certain topics.
Sure.
I had that experience myself.
Ooh.
I changed my mind. The officiating at Miami was spot on all year. The officiating at BYU, spot on.
Okay. Spot on.
And I think the officiating last
Utah.
night, spot on.
That's really good.
I don't know that there's any room for criticism or improvement
No.
or any amount of like, hey, that's a problem, because they were spot on. I mean, all the calls they made just
Like interceptions or PI.
I think they're all valid.
Holding.
Yeah, I
It's
think
an interesting conversation, isn't it? I don't know. I think it is.
Yeah. What did you think of the officiating? last
Well,
night?
we benefited. We
Yes.
benefited. I mean, I know I was in the
Kept us in the
stands,
game.
but that pick, the one that in the middle of the field,
the PI.
yeah, it's probably a PI. I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
But the one, I mean, come on.
The interception?
The guy had the ball. He hits his back and it moves a little bit. He had possession of the ball.
The interesting, they didn't show a lot of replays.
We didn't even know in the stadium. I had no idea it was being reviewed.
Exactly.
And
they
all of a
went to
sudden
commercial break, but they didn't show a lot of replays. And the only thing I could see is, he was as he caught it, he was out of bounds. It just kind of looked like it. But man, I don't know how that was not an interception.
Have you seen it since the game?
I just saw.
Oh,
the
it's
one,
on Twitter. I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
Felt like he had it. It looked like he had it, and then his back hit out of bounds.
Right.
He was in bounds.
Right.
And it seemed to me he had possession. He hit out of bounds, and it moved in his hands.
I just wonder if on TV they had different
what it
angles
was?
because
Yeah.
there was the angle on Twitter I saw was kind of far away, and then the angle in the game was from the back, and I was I guess I could see I was happy. I was super happy about it. But there was an interesting officiating situation that happened at BYU. I thought that
At
was
Utah.
At
Utah. Yeah.
yeah. Should
Yeah.
I go over it?
Yeah. So it wasn't just one. That's the thing. It was two. It
Okay,
was
I only
two
know about
really
the
big
one.
ones. So the reason we're talking about this is, I think we've discussed it a little bit, is the question out there is, are conferences quasi sort of the officiating maybe helping their top teams? And I can't imagine there's a directive that they say anything.
Tinfoil hat.
But it just certainly seems like it happened to Miami multiple times. BYU's been lucky on a lot of things this year, but yesterday was a combination of Utah being incredibly inept on offense. But there were two, to this point we're talking about, there were two really big calls in the last 2.5 minutes of that game that both went against Utah, and BYU ends up winning the game, right? So the one that not many people are talking about, in my opinion, was second down. No, it was third down, and Utah runs it on their last possession. They run it, and it's going to be 4th and a half a yard or 1st and 10. I don't know, but a flag comes out. They call holding.
Not a hold.
Not even close.
His
This
arm
is
went
the
across
receiver.
his chest.
His arm went across.
This is the receiver, right? Is that what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about?
You know what I'm talking about.
82.
So now it's 3rd and 10. They don't get it, and they have to punt, right? So that was the first one. And then, obviously, the second one is the 4th and 10 from BYU, from their 5-yard line. And I've seen multiple angles. I don't know if you guys have. I've seen multiple angles, and I've seen explanations pro and con on it was a foul, it wasn't a foul. My take is this, is that we all hate, everyone hates when a call or a really, really bad non-call decides a game. Now, granted, Utah still gave up 50 yards and a field goal, but it was a big-time call. But my biggest issue is if that call is not made, there's not a single person that's saying, that was an egregious hold, that was a horrible pass interference, Utah stole the game. No one's saying that, ever, at all, because it was a little hand, a little jerk, whatever it was. Those happen on every time there's man-to-man defense. There's hands. It happens every play.
Pulling, pushing.
And for that guy to make that call was incredible.
I loved it because they're showing replays of other plays throughout the game,
Right.
close up. They show the replay of that, and it's a mile away.
Mile away,
out,
one time.
And Brock Osweiler on the call is like,
Makes sense.
It's
quarterback.
clear. That's clear holding. And you're like, what are you looking at? What is clear? I can't even see the number on the guy's jersey from the view we have.
I thought somebody posted on Twitter that they said they're a referee, and they're like, here's your strategy, and I would agree with it. In the latter parts of the game, you only call felonies, you never call misdemeanors.
100%.
And he's like, you cannot decide the outcome of the game on a misdemeanor.
Yeah, and you got to call the felonies, because we've all seen games that there was a felony,
Call it.
and it doesn't get called. And that's as bad. That's just as bad.
Can I play the
But come
Utah
on.
AD?
Oh, horrible response by him. But yes, please.
I'm gonna play it.
bad.
This is bad.
It
So
looks-
the Utah AD was yelling at the referees at the end of the game. He got an unsportsmanlike conduct
on the kickoff return.
What if they would have scored?
No. But it was like unsportsmanlike, game's
bench.
over is what the referee said.
Yeah.
Right? Because he was out there yelling at the ref, and then the ref comes on, hey, basically F you, AD. Unsportsmanlike on him, game's over, we're out. So here's what so this AD, I don't know, what is it, Mark Harlan. Came into the press conference and said the following.
For 12 years, this game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game, someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight. Thank you. For 12 years.
It's funny he uses the word professionalism.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
Really?
I don't mind it, dude.
Oh,
what
that
are you
is
gonna
so
do? You know what I
message-boardy.
hate? You know what I hate?
What?
Okay, here's what I hate. Behind the scenes, I'm going to give that Big Ten commissioner a scolding.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm going to give that Big 12 commissioner, I'm going to go after that guy, right?
Yeah.
And then all you do is send a strongly worded email.
Right.
When he's like scratching an itch of a fan base, I'm sorry, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Okay? Because it's so messed up when that crap happens, especially he's coming off a high.
Yeah.
You know, almost winning. We need to talk about somebody else coming off of a low on a tweet of the week, which I could pull up. But anyway, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I know it's unprofessional. I get that you'll regret it.
Yeah, today I'm sure he regrets that.
And a lot of people have probably told him he should regret it.
And
Why?
he's $40,000 cheaper. He got fined $40,000 today.
Is that
for
what he got?
$40,000.
Yeah, you can't.
He talked to the conference commissioner. They said you owe us $40,000.
Good
The
conversation.
thing about it is nothing's going to happen. You can't overturn the win-loss. It's not like they can go back and make it right.
It just sounds very fanish. It sounds like guys doing it just sounds like what we would be saying if we were huge Utah fans or whatever. I would have said, I got little bits of what Kyle Whittingham, their coach, said, and his is more what I would have said. Like, it wasn't as strongly worded as that, but it was still like you're voicing your displeasure. But here's the funny thing about that, and I just saw this before we came in. There's all these views coming into that play now, right?
Yeah.
And depending on the view, you see different things. There's a view coming from the other side of the field, the offensive lineman. It like close up in the forefront of the view is the offensive lineman.
Kind of at
blocking.
a diagonal,
Yeah, kind of
right?
at a diagonal.
I
And
saw
then you
that
can
one,
see the receiver on the back.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was from a BYU fan. I thought it was from a Utah fan because right in front of me is Utah's defensive line getting held on that play. And so I'm thinking, he got held on that play. And no, it was a BYU fan trying to point out that the receiver did get held. And I'm like, there you go. There's two holds on the same play, exactly the same.
If you're the head referee, do you walk over and you're like, bro, I didn't see it. Let's just pick it up. You want to know what else is interesting?
They did that at Utah. They did that at Texas, Georgia.
You know what else is interesting? Referees will not give a safety to anybody.
Oh, they
It's
hate
very
giving
rare.
a safety.
They hate giving that
my
guy.
gosh.
He stopped looking at the play when his feet went into the end zone. He just ran to the 1 yard line and was like, "Stop the referee."
Oh, when he
place the ball, and you're like, dude, give him the safety. We've had the Washington State thing.
That was
We had a
so
safety. It's like,
bad.
what are you? You're so excited to place it at the 1.
Forward progress.
You know, it's like give them a safety. Has
the
any safeties happened all year?
It's the exact opposite of a basketball referee calling a charge. They love to call the charge, right? I mean, they're out there, Oh my gosh, they will not
I guess
do
I
it.
just didn't get that very much.
Yeah.
Can we go over the tweet of the week?
Sure.
Speaking of Utah,
Speaking of Utah,
and our local media member.
so we have a friend, Mike Prater. He's been
Dude,
on the pod.
By the way, Prater, talked to him. I saw him in the press box. Gives me knuckles.
Yeah.
Squeezes my shoulder. I think I felt good with the knuckles. The shoulder squeeze was a little awkward.
Oh, well, he was stressed. I think he's stressed, Prater's a big Utah fan.
Big Utah fan.
Loves University of Utah. I believe he went there.
Yeah.
I'm just assuming he went
Yeah,
there.
he went there.
Anyway, follows them religiously. Loves the Utah Utes, okay? So anyway, after the BSU Nevada game, he posts the following on
I'm putting this up.
Put it
Here we
up
go.
there. We're going to have to blur out some words in here. So
Presumably, this is after the Utah loss. We're assuming.
is
Do we
that
have this?
9-16?
It's already
no.
It's already edited on here, so we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, anyway, is that 9-16? When did they lose? 11 something?
Yeah, so it was still not.
Oh, so why was he so salty?
Why was he so
Okay, he posts
salty?
the following. Boise State defeats Nevada 28-21. ... Your thoughts.
Okay. Opening it up for people to give him his thoughts.
Like he does every game.
Got it.
Somebody posts high up, says, I hate that none of you will ask the Boise coaches a tough question. Prater, feeling a little triggered by that, says, yo, dumb
Bleep.
Freak.
what questions
free.
you want asked?
Yo, dumbass.
I wish
Not
you said
professional.
F-face, dude. I wish you said F-face or
A
something.
lot of Utah, not a lot of professionalism went on last night.
I don't know. I guess that question gets asked a lot. I don't see that it's merited this year.
No, last year I felt
the
very
Avalos
similarly.
time,
Like,
yes.
dude, come on.
I just want to know what question. What are we asking?
What would you?
What are you?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know what their problem.
in those situations, really, they just want to see criticism lobbed at the coaches.
They do. We do. It's
One-
kind of like the same thing you're talking about with that AD, right? The fan wants to hear something or feel something.
You know, one thing I do have a question on with Dirk is, man, our running scheme is confusing to me. Because I know we're missing a bunch of old linemen. How many? 10? I mean, we're
4
listening
at
to
least.
everybody. Like, they're just grabbing people from the stands anymore. But we run to the short side of the field,
To the right.
to the right, almost every play we did. And it was 1 yard, 0 yards, 2 yards, 1 yard, 0 yards.
to
and
the
then
right, I feel like it's all inside the tackle box.
Right,
Is that
but
what you're
it
saying?
felt
In
like
the box,
in
to
the
the
tackles
right.
to the right. And it
Okay.
was like the whole third quarter, we're running to the right. And then sometimes we would run it outside to the left and he'd get some space. And you just think, man, we need him to get a little bit of space anymore because our offensive line doesn't seem like we can get to the next level and get a guy on a linebacker anymore. Right. And so it's like, I just don't understand that running scheme very much.
Yeah,
Of course, I don't know.
It's so
anything.
hard. I mean, it's so hard to like criticize Dirk Cutter, but
No.
I just across the board, the offense wasn't great yesterday. But I thought they may have found something there. We've run up, and I've heard a lot of the criticism, or why are we going up the middle every time? And that's a question for Dirk. I think he sort of answered it, but still, it's like, why not get out? But we had a couple plays. We did a zone read where Madsen kept it. I think we did 2 of those.
Yeah.
And got positive plays both times.
Yep.
And then the very last play of the game, when we're trying to salt it away.
The kneel downs?
No, right before the kneel down. What was it? It was a pitch out to Jeanty.
Yeah.
To the right. Do you remember that?
I wasn't there. I walked out.
Okay, but it was, and he got like 10, 12 yards. And can't do that every time, but it seems like you could mix more of that stuff up.
Yeah.
But
I guess
I don't know. Who
this
are we?
year we're winning.
We're winning.
What tough questions are you going to ask?
Yeah,
right? Like,
I would just say to Hans, let us know. Actually, let Mark know. He'll ask the tough questions.
I
at the
will not
press
be
conference.
there this week.
Yeah, I mean they try. When you're winning games, it's hard to be really critical because the coach can just come back and say, you know better than I do, right?
Yeah.
What
we
are we doing
won,
wrong?
and that's the goal. And winning is a hard thing to do.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Did you see that Eli Drinkowitz tweet?
From a while ago, right?
This just yesterday.
Oh, no. I
dude,
haven't
the
seen
end
it.
of that game was wild.
Oh, yeah. They won on like on a fumble.
On a fumble, bro.
Scoop
Well,
and
they
score, right?
fumbled
Oh, okay.
to take the lead. Like they were down 16-9 or something like that. And then it was 20. I forget what it was. But then Mizzou
Huh.
got
I
a
didn't
fumble
see any of
recovery
that.
and won it.
Eli Drinkowitz. He let me get the exact tweet because it was really funny. It was about in-game tweeting, right? Let me grab it. Come on, where is it? Sorry, guys. I'm just scrolling here. Okay, Eli Drinkowitz. This fan or whatever tweets the following: fire Drink, fire Kirby. I don't even care. They had 2 weeks, gang. 2 weeks, right? And then Drinkowitz requotes it and says, maybe just stop tweeting during the game. You got no clue what you're talking about.
Nice.
Which I think is stupid of coaches to clap back at fans because what are you going to do?
He's from the school. That's the Brian Harsin school of,
Yeah, I guess so. Like, I don't see the benefit because the minute you give that guy some cheese,
dude.
they're going to eat it
Yeah.
and they're just
And
going to
then
keep
everybody
going.
else piles on.
And that person feels all of a sudden validated. They're like, oh, okay, come on, coach. Come on, coach.
Right?
Get after,
Yeah,
coach. Let's go,
probably
coach.
should stay away
So
from
I guess
that.
I just don't understand that part. But
let's see. I think we hit some of those things. Talking too loud?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was like, I thought you were telling me to be quiet or something.
Yes, that too.
I'm talking too loud. Okay.
Are you?
Can we talk about the super team, Mark?
The super team. I'm going to fall for it. I thought we had a super team. I went to the game.
Basketball.
It looked too easy.
Talking basketball.
Bro, we
I
killed
was there.
them.
Killed them. Dude, but they sucked.
They suck.
Oakland?
Oakland was bad. Oakland was here's the interesting. They were a tournament team last year. Didn't return a lot of guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
San Fran was a great team last year. Returned almost all of them.
Big difference.
Big difference. And I thought we were good enough to win the first 6 or 7 games. Like I thought, hey, we're gonna have a big one against San Fran. I thought that was a good one, but I thought we got the depth because our team this year is, I think, really great. We got Anderson at center, 7-footer. We got Omar playing the 4, who's an incredible rebounder. We got Dickey, who did great at San Fran. We got Andrew Meadows, who's going to be an interesting replacement for Max Rice because
I think he's
an upgrade. Andrew Meadow.
Yeah.
And then we got Alvaro Cardenas, who's awesome, who's a great point guard. Okay. Then you talk about the backups. We have, I thought Julian Bowie's an interesting backup. I didn't think he'd play much, but he's from the kid from Pocatello.
They're trying him and the other kid
because they burned his red shirt first game.
Yeah, they're playing. He's playing.
Yeah.
And I listened to Leon's interview.
What did he say?
So in the San Fran, I didn't see a minute. So I listened to a little bit of the post game. They said that those 2 freshmen that played, who's the other one? Lockett. He's like, they came in. I guess Cardenas got 2 early fouls. Oh. So they were playing Lockett and Bowie, and they came in like turnover, got the other guy in turnover. And he's like, they really struggled.
I thought Lockett was playing
either way,
too.
they both they struggled.
Really?
He said they struggled. I don't know what their stat lines were. I don't know if you had it pulled
Lockett
up.
only played 3 minutes against San Francisco.
I think he came in and got a turnover
he didn't shoot, didn't do anything. Yeah, he had 2 turnovers.
Yeah, 2 turnovers.
Bowie was 0 for 4, 0 for 3 from 3-point land. He only played 7 minutes.
Yeah. Did he have any turnovers?
1 turnover.
Yeah. So they're young.
I was surprised.
It's their first.
I was surprised they had. Because Bowie, he's a true freshman, and they kept Lockett out last year.
So is Bowie playing the point and Lockett's the 2? Is that they're both the backups at those positions?
At Oakland, yeah.
Okay. And then where's RJ Keene?
Yeah, good question.
Allen Man out again, or is he going to get some time?
I don't know.
He played 21 minutes.
Oh, so he's getting some.
So
run.
against Oakland, RJ played really, really well.
Sure.
And he was kind of the Max Rice guy, where he's getting scrappy rebounds, he was making good passes, he was doing those types of things. So RJ was great. And then against Oakland, they played 10 in the first half.
Yep.
I mean, they played everybody. There, I was warming up. But I mean, I just thought the team was so awesome. We have who's it, Ugbo or Ug?
Yeah, like
Ugbo.
he looks good.
I mean, I always thought we need one additional rebounder because Omar's the only real guy we had last year that would just get scrappy rebounds all the time.
What? So did you watch any of the game, or just we're looking
No,
at
I
stats?
didn't.
San Fran. What was Omar's line? 6 points, 2 boards.
6 points, 2 boards.
That's the game.
So that was the problem we had last year.
There you
When you shut down Omar at the end of the season, everybody was going after Omar because then you double Tyson, you double Omar. And sometimes we had you
double them both.
Whoever had the ball, but if you take away those 2 players, we would lose most of the time.
So you're thinking this year's going to be better
because you got Alvaro Cardenas who could really score and open it up quite a bit, right?
He's a real point guard. He is a real point guard.
And Anderson, who's a 7-footer. So you have all 3 of those guys in the game. And if you go double after one, potentially you open up the other 2, right? And so that's why I thought it was so good. I was surprised we lost that game.
Who do you think had the most rebounds?
Meadow.
Meadow, 9.
Meadow. I like Meadow. I think Meadow's going to be really good for us.
What was Dickey's stat line?
Dickey had 25 points, 8 for 15 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, 7 rebounds.
I mean, our 3 points against Oakland were like what?
It wasn't good.
30 for 30.
Dickey 8 for 10 from the line.
at Oakland.
Oh,
at
free
Oakland.
throw?
Free throws.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm talking about Oakland. Our 3-pointers at Oakland were
it was good.
incredible.
This was San Francisco
It was good.
stats.
San Francisco bad. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this one will kill us. And I'm super interested to follow Mark's Ken Palm attitude throughout the year.
I just can't, dude. I can't.
I love it.
You love Ken Palm?
I just love your reaction.
Mark hates the
it's a
word
trigger.
Ken Palm.
Oh, yeah, I hate it. Yeah, I love BJ too, but it's like first week of the season, and we're talking about, the Ken Palm number's 15. You got to win by more than 15. If you win by 13, that's basically a loss.
Yeah.
I hate. Let's talk about that at like middle of February beyond maybe.
Yeah.
But I like the quad system, okay. But the Ken Palm numbers are ridiculous. I don't know how many people they're taking stuff from last year. The Ken Palm number right now has everything to do with last year and who you return. It has nothing to do with anything. And we're talking about Ken Palm. Oh,
But it only
Ken
triggers.
Palm?
I can't.
We're talking Ken Palm.
We're talking about Ken Palm.
I can't deal.
The thing is, it only triggers you. Like we all read
it
that.
triggers
Like,
me.
okay,
It
whatever.
does. No, it triggers me. It does. And I'm sorry. And you hit it best. You nailed it on the head. I need therapy. Did you say that to that?
need counseling.
You need counseling.
Because Mark,
Is this the time we read the ad for BetterHelp?
BetterHelp, go to
Mental.
BetterHelp. Mark tried to tie a Ken Palm reference into the football game. He's like, we don't win by more than 3, then we do basically on a loss. I'm like, bro, you need freaking
I don't
counseling, dude. You
remember
just
that.
get too triggered by it.
I don't like it. I like playing the games. I want to win the. I get it that there's nice that there's metrics to tell so many teams and who wins what. But this early to be talking about Ken Palm and we beat this team and they're this Ken Palm. It's like I don't like it.
Well, going back to
basketball,
basketball, I actually thought this was the best team we've ever had, ever.
it's a big statement.
I do.
We'll
Coming away from that Oakland game, I thought we were the best team, just potential-wise. We have Clemson this Sunday.
We have a game on
Seems
Tuesday.
like a big
Corbin.
win. It seems like a big game.
Big game.
When you lose to San Fran, it's like I don't think the Mountain West is going to get the benefit of the doubt. It's many years now that we've underachieved in the tournament, and we can argue why and seeding and everything. We're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. So I think it's more important than ever
teams?
to get it. Yeah, 2 or 3 teams probably, but I think you got to do good non-con. You really do.
I agree with that. And we have Clemson, we have St. Mary's, and then we have the whatever tournament we're in.
Grand Cayman tournament.
Yeah, which I really hope we win 2 out of the 3 in the opening. And so that we can get to the set, because this team needs experience in getting to the next round of games. You know what I mean?
Like in the Grand Cayman
in-season tournaments.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we just need experience doing that because we haven't ever really won in those in-season tournaments. We just
got into a final, like ever.
no, we've
in
never.
those?
I don't even think we've gotten out of the first round.
Yeah,
or the playing
so-
round. So
yeah.
it's like we need experience doing
It
that.
makes me not want to travel.
Have you?
Were you going to the Grand Cayman one? But you're like, I might lose that first game,
Seriously
so I'm not
thinking
going.
about it.
Well, we actually had a friend that traveled to the.
BJ's going.
Well, yeah,
BJ's
BJ's going.
We could travel too if we had some. Let's get some commercials going. Something.
No.
Okay.
I have high hopes for the team. I have very high hopes. If we beat Clemson, that's a big, big, big win for me. If we beat St. Mary's, it's a big, big win for me. Once we get into Mountain West play, you hope that we win the conference. You hope we're picked one.
We're picked one.
You hope we do well in the tournament, and then because once conference play starts, then it's just this narrative where you're only winning conference, you're only winning in conference, you're only doing this. If the Mountain West can win some games out of conference, which New Mexico did, they beat UCLA.
Yep.
I mean, we got some good resume wins so far.
Did you see BJ Raines getting heat from Mountain West fans because Boise State lost their out of conference game? Did you see that?
I
Last
saw
night?
BJ. Well, BJ posts stuff about like
He
like
keeps
cherry pick.
receipts.
does.
I saw people getting after BJ. You guys suck. Why come you always suck in preseason? How you guys are bringing down the league?
yeah,
to BJ.
Yeah.
He's a reporter.
Yeah.
Like what?
I don't
It's
know.
funny.
I don't know. I just hope because this, if BSU football goes to playoff, and BSU basketball has a run and potentially, I think 4 tournament appearances is incredible.
Sure, would be. Yeah.
But obviously a win in a
That'd
tournament.
be Dickey, 4 for 4, right?
It's incredible,
Yeah.
man. That's really wild. And then if we win, this will go down as the best year in BSU sports history, like pretty easily,
Yeah.
dude. So
If we were to accomplish both of those things,
Yeah.
CFP,
Yeah.
just making the playoff or winning the playoff?
just making the
Like
playoff,
winning
yeah.
a game.
Yeah, just because
making it? Yeah.
that's my goal. Make it to
Yeah.
playoff. I don't have any expectations.
Don't
If we
get
win,
embarrassed.
That's great.
Yeah.
Just because that was the whole point is get to the playoff.
Oh, I
For
agree.
us.
I agree 100%. The biggest thing for if you're talking about the future of access to the playoff, I think the biggest thing is that whoever the group of 5 team is you can't get to the playoff and lose by 40 a couple years in a row
Well, it would
because
suck
we don't
to
really
play.
they haven't guaranteed access. They said, oh yeah, but it's not like set in stone how long we're going to have this access, this guaranteed spot. And so the worst thing possible that could happen is somehow we get ranked 13th, final poll. So let's say Alabama's 12 or Ole Miss is 12. They get
That's not
left
how
out
it
for
works.
us.
That's not how it works. Well, okay, let's keep talking.
No,
Keep
let's
going.
just say, so we get in because we're a group of 5 champion.
Yeah.
Okay. We go in and we lose by 40 to someone. And then all it is going to be the SEC saying they shouldn't ever have been in. We were the 12th ranked team. You know what I mean? Like, we want to avoid those things.
Okay, the thing that I struggle with a little bit with the playoff is I always kind of thought, hey, we'll play the 5th ranked team, not the 1st, right?
Probably.
But here's the problem with that.
Yeah.
Ohio State is, let's say Oregon wins out and wins the Big Ten. Ohio State could be the 2nd ranked team in the country playing against us.
Yeah.
That sucks. You know what I mean? That's a huge, because otherwise, you know, you have higher ranked teams with a bye, but just because they won their conference championship, they're in the top. And so that's a problem, dude.
It's a weird format. And you wonder now that the Big Ten and the SEC have more and more control now than they did 2 years ago when this came out. If they start saying, let's say BYU wins out, or maybe they have a loss, then they win the Big 12. They have a bye. And they're going to be like, you know, I can just see, and so is an ACC champion. It's going to have a bye. Or maybe we do. And I can see them saying like, hey, let's get rid of the buys. And I kind of think like top 4 teams get the buys. Because what if BYU's, let's say they lose and they're ranked, but then they win the championship. Let's say they lose next week, then they win their championship. They're going to be ranked 12, 13, 14. Why would they have a bye? Or why would we have a bye if we're the 12th ranked team? So I kind of would be all, but.
If we play Ohio State in that situation, who hosts it?
Ohio State.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's a big stadium with a lot of fans.
Yeah, I mean, we're losing that game.
I'd love to have a chance at several teams that are in the field right now. I'd love to have a chance against anyone in the ACC, BYU.
What
about Florida State? Dude, 1-9.
Good, 1-9, man. They just fired their OCDCs. They fired a bunch of team coaches. But we'll see. It's the coolest thing is that we're sitting here November 10th, and we're legitimately talking about a playoff game. We could play BYU in a playoff game. Like, that was unheard of anytime before this year.
I just think the hard part is, you know, of the top conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten, we got the police chase coming up right behind us. Yep. We're in a seedy part of town. The Big Ten and the Big 12, or the Big Ten and the SEC will have multiple teams in the top 7, top 5, potentially.
Yep.
One of them is going to be playing in the first round against us. I just, for whatever reason, I had in my mind we wouldn't be playing the number 2 team in the country. Yeah. We'd be playing, you know, the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, whatever that is. That would be more ideal for me. I would die of happiness if we got to host a game.
Yeah.
Like, if we kept winning and we, like, our ranking kept going up and up and up, and somehow we're playing in the first round, but we're the higher ranked seed.
Yeah.
And we host.
Oh, that'd be so sweet. But I think that 12 is probably
the ceiling.
I think it's the ceiling. I think, in fact, we're going down this week, probably. Just because the teams in front of us, as they lose, like, we're going to see Miami lost, they'll still be in front of us. Georgia lost, they'll still be in front of us. And they have 2 losses. So if some of these 2-loss teams lose, well, then did they lose to a 3-loss team from the SEC who would then bump in front of us because they beat the 6th-ranked team? I think that we're maxed out at 10 or at 12, maybe 11, 10 if things got crazy. I don't think there's any way we're getting down to 8. I just... Whatever. It is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But
and with who we have left on the schedule, it's just like...
Well, and I don't know if I can even complain about it. I mean, you look at the AP poll this week, and BYU was like bumped up a little bit. That big win against the team that's lost 5 in a row. And it's like, you look at the teams right behind them.
Dig.
No.
Dude, they got Kansas coming up.
Watch out.
Could be a game.
No, but look at the teams right behind them. Georgia, Alabama, Ole Miss. It's like no one in their right mind would pick BYU. Like, Vegas would have that a 2-touchdown game at least for those SEC teams to win. So the fact that we're even in the, you know, I'm not going to complain about being the 12th because neutral site game, we're not favored against anyone in front of us other than maybe BYU. I saw a couple weeks ago we would have been favored against BYU. Or at least we had higher odds of getting to the championship.
That would be sweet. I would
Ken Palm
love that.
was higher.
What was
we
that?
had a higher Ken Palm.
We had a better Ken Palm.
Yeah, Ken Palm's nice. It was good. It was solid. I don't know. So I don't know if I can necessarily complain about where we're at because there is some truth to the fact that we played Nevada and we're playing San Jose next week. We're not playing Ole Miss and we're not playing. So I get it. I'm glad that we're just in the conversation. And we have a good team. And I think we could beat some of those teams.
And this is all we hoped for. I mean, this was the whole, we're going to sell out for the CFP, right?
Yep.
We're going to get Jeanty back. We're going to do all this stuff. And this is what's happening. So, yeah, you got to be pumped
excited.
and grateful and excited for it.
Of all the stuff that happened, I think Utah declaring that they're leaving the Big 12.
Yeah, that was a big statement last night.
The guy doesn't want to be there anymore.
Come back to the
Come back
Got
to
a
the
spot,
pack, baby.
you got a spot.
Got a
Oh, by the way, can we take your spot?
We'll switch. Swap.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. So,
We play San Jose?
yes, and I did. Did you guys see Ken Niumatalolo?
Yeah, he got fined.
Oh, he did.
He got fined.
Why was
what?
he pissed?
Going after, I don't know. I didn't see any of the game. They won. They beat Oregon State, and he was getting after
So
that.
they beat Oregon State.
Yeah.
And the head coach of San Jose State's Ken. He used to be the Navy head coach.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
walks up to the opposing coach, shakes his hand real quick, but is staring at the head ref the whole time. Shakes the Oregon State coach's hand, and then just races over to the head ref, screaming at him. Chasing him out of the stadium, screaming at him, and the caption was, "This is the winning coach."
Yeah. It must have been bad.
I don't know what happened.
Bad. I don't
They're
know.
6-3, 7-3, 6-3.
Yeah, they only have 3 losses. They're undefeated at home. You know, this was a game I remember a little while ago when they played it really close at Wazoo. And I remember saying, like, hey, they can put points on the board.
Yeah.
They threw for like 400 yards against Oregon State, who's not a slouch. I mean, they're having a tough year, but they have Power 4 players. This is one of those that it's almost a good thing that we had a close game yesterday, because if we go into, I'm more worried.
Overconfident.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I know that this team doesn't tend to fall into those traps, but they certainly won't this week after that performance they just had.
Yeah.
And I think that of our remaining games at San Jose is by far the scariest since the UNLV game. It has been because their strength, believe it or not, Ken Niumatalolo, who used to run the triple option, but his offense is throwing it everywhere.
Yeah.
And they've got like a really good receiver, Nash. So maybe having a close game yesterday, the guys are not going
That's
to
a
take,
good point.
you know, so
I wonder if so you heard some interviews last week of them saying, well, if you stack the box every play, we're just going to throw it over you.
yeah.
We didn't.
Didn't do that.
We didn't. I don't
know if they stacked the box or not.
I can't
but
tell. Like when I'm watching the game, it's hard for me to, especially if the commentators, I'm not hearing them. I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, it is leaving the game. I thought, it's good to win these games because you go away thinking, wow, we almost lost that game. We need to be better.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. And
Yeah.
they'll say, look, this is a better team than Nevada by far.
By far.
Yeah.
So
because could have been a blowout. You know, we were up 14-0 really early, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was thinking like, hey,
Yeah.
this is going to be like a 3-score
Someone's like,
game.
I wanted it.
Jeanty's going for 400. Didn't
I
someone text
wanted
that?
Well, he had 99 yards in the
the
first
first quarter?
quarter. Yeah. We're
like
he's
105
on
at
pace.
half.
Yeah, he's on. Ooh.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
It was a bad second quarter. I think we
Yeah.
talked about like that,
It was
some
bad.
sequences there. And yeah.
Well, they put together that long drive and scored, and so I agree. I think though the key, and Mark put it in the notes, was just win, and we did. And I agree. It's like you have those close wins, and you kind of look back and reflect, and you're like, we won, but man, we got a lot of stuff to clean up.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with the outcome.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people that are saying, that will always say, put in Malachi instead of Madsen. Sorry, guys, I don't think that's happening.
8-1. You're not pulling your
You're not
starting
doing
quarterback.
that.
I don't care.
And so, yeah, not all wins are pretty. Not all wins are by 3 touchdowns. So
I just don't. I've never understood the put in Malachi thing.
Well, I understood it early on. I totally understood it. 5-star, big hype. But as the season's gone on, it's quite apparent that we're riding with Mad Dog.
Yeah, we just need Malachi to be ready, because if something happens to Mad
Yeah.
Dog, we need him. But other than that, it's going to be Mad Dog.
I am interested to see how he finishes the year, Madsen, going into next year, what that means. Do they tell Malachi, hey, it's an open competition? I think it should be, no matter who they have. We'll see. I mean, it always should be competition, right? We'll see how it ends up. But as of right now, you certainly can't even talk about that.
Do you think Dirk will be here next year? Because
You know
Prater
what?
wrote
That was
an article
interesting.
about that.
I was there. So Danielson and Cutter both got asked. And neither one of them...
They just said they don't look ahead to the future.
Yeah, but I mean, it certainly wasn't this is it for me, guys. This is the one,
Didn't say no.
He didn't say no.
He did say that during Avalos. He's like, this is a young man's game. I'm out.
Yeah, he did.
So he did say that.
Right, and
Yeah.
this time he didn't.
He didn't.
So I wouldn't be shocked. Again, he won't
I
have...
think it's a feel for it year.
Yeah.
Like, let's see how it is if he doesn't have to do any recruiting or anything like that. And it's like, hey, this wasn't that bad. I could still do my golfing or whatever
Yeah.
it is. I could do another year.
Yeah.
So I don't think the door's closed.
I don't think so either.
I think
by
he
any
likes.
stretch.
Seems like he likes Danielson.
Yeah. No, he has high praise of Danielson.
Seems like he hates pressers.
Hates
Oh,
him.
yeah.
He said, Mondays at 12:45 are like my least favorite thing.
10 minutes. All he has is 10 minutes
Why?
the entire week. Who cares?
Well, he
dude?
just
I think
gets
it's technically supposed to be 15. I think it's 30, 15, and 15.
He does not do
but
15,
he does
man.
10, and
No way.
people
And
are
the
like,
thing is,
whatever.
he gets up there and he's just like, "What?
Yeah.
What do you want, Prater? I hate you." Maybe he will be back.
We'll see. We'll see.
Would you guys take him back?
Yeah.
I like
Hey,
him. I like him.
We mentioned your 40.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Yeah, we did,
this
we
is gonna
did.
be our last topic
Yeah, we did. I ran a 40-yard dash.
at Discovery Park.
Yep. And
Do you think it's legit? I mean, do you think
I
that the
don't.
Well,
timing?
could we?
I don't.
Are we going to overlay the video? Are we going to play the video here, or what are we going to do?
We can show some clips.
Yeah. Okay. So, ready, go.
This is
clip.
Brandon running.
Yeah.
He's trying really hard apparently.
Let me just give. So you watched it. Okay. Everybody watched it. Let me just give you my mindset going into it. I thought I had it in the bag. 5.5.
I didn't think it would be a challenge.
I thought I had it in the bag.
I thought it would be tough for you to get.
Yeah.
But you could do it.
I thought I had it in the bag. I felt good.
Is there just so I know? Is there a timer going off
Yeah.
and you have to go when it strikes
Explain the
zero?
timer
How does
situation.
that work?
This
'Cause
is the
that
problem.
Could be a problem.
Here's the problem. Here's a big problem for me, at least.
Look up.
You got to look up. So you step on a pad. So they have it all marked out, and it's AstroTurf, which is nice. There's 2 lanes. You step on a pad at the start, and then up in front of you, you'll see the timer board. It'll go red, yellow, green, and then start. It'll start.
Oh, okay.
So if you time it exactly right, you're good. But you can't look up to look at the red, yellow, green if you want to have a good start. You're just trying to stay down. So there was times where I would like try to jump it early because I always got late starts.
yeah.
Because I'm looking up and I'm like, I'm not in a great starting position. So that's number one. Number two, if you try to time it and jump early, it won't time you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like it's like don't cheat. Yeah, don't cheat.
That
so
makes it tough.
It was tough.
What are your thoughts on the critique of your starting?
Yeah, I had a lot of people critique me, and they're right. It
Your
wasn't good.
first step was
Sideways,
backwards,
sideways
side-
back. Yeah, it wasn't good. Look, it wasn't pretty. And the fact, like when I look back, like when I'm running it, I'm like, bro, I'm fast as the wind. Like I'm running fast, and I felt like my kids when they're like, Dad, watch how fast I am. And I'm looking at them thinking, you're not that
You're like,
fast.
Dad, look at these new shoes. They make me faster.
I'm running. I'm thinking I'm doing good. And then you get near the end and you see, bro, I'm not even going to get
6 point
close.
whatever, yeah.
I'm not even going to get close. So I want to do it again.
We'll do it again.
I want to go to a different place. I've heard since, I didn't know about this Discovery Park, but I heard since that kids go like in high school and nobody gets a good time there.
Okay.
And so it's
I
like,
believe it. I mean, it's just like a park.
Yeah.
It's like,
It was also windy.
it was windy,
And it was
wind in my
wet
face.
and
And-
wet.
oh,
yeah.
that's not helpful at all. Seriously, that makes a difference. I'm sticking up for
Thank
you,
you.
man. That makes a difference.
And the
It really
thing-
does.
When I drove away, I called Matt and I was like, Matt.
Don't post.
No, I was like,
that
Matt.
was the thing. He never said don't post
Yeah.
it.
I was like, Matt, I tied a 59-year-old man running in a suit.
Rich Eisen.
He ran a
Is that
5.9.
right? Oh, no.
Brandon's best time was
I don't believe that.
5.97.
He
There's
ran
no
a
way.
5.9.
There's no way. I think that's a tough timing situation into the wind. No way.
Yeah. So
Is there
I
a better place to do it, though?
I don't know.
I think you could do it there. Just hand time it.
Yeah, I would rather do it on a field, like a high school field. Start at the goal line,
Yeah.
run to the 40, and have somebody hand time me. A few people stood up for me on Twitter. They were like, "Hey, that timer, that doesn't look right. Look how fast you are." Nobody said that actually. Yeah, I want to do it again. You know what I mean? Maybe I could use some training from the BSU guys, dude. My hip flexors
Still sore?
were like 3 days after. Like, bro, don't do that.
You didn't pull a hammy, though?
I didn't pull a hammy. I thought I would.
I know I would pull a hammy if I tried to sprint.
I want to
just-
see some other people run it.
I didn't
honestly,
have my gear with me,
yeah,
whether that was strategic or not.
exactly. I want to see Johnny Mallard run it.
Oh, dude, call out Johnny.
Call out
Mallory.
Johnny. Call out BJ. I want to see those guys run it.
Johnny's gonna be BJ.
Johnny's gonna be BJ.
Johnny, yeah, I heard Johnny.
I don't know.
yeah. No, Johnny's short.
BJ's
He's
getting
kinda-
back on the lean feast thing. He's got to
Okay.
get in shape a little bit.
Shout out to those guys. Challenge to those guys. Get your 40 time on camera. I want to see it because I got mine on there. Okay.
Is this like a challenge? Shirts and skins versus
Yes, it is.
BNN and KTI?
Sounds
Yes,
like
it
the
is.
cold plunge challenge. What was that? The cold bucket challenge.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
remember that?
The ice bucket
you
challenge.
do ice bucket challenge, and you call someone else out. So you
Run
have-
your 40.
you have BJ
Call
and-
somebody out.
and Johnny.
Get it on tape.
Yeah.
Get it on tape. Throw it on there. I think all
Or
the
we
fans
just
deserve
meet
it.
up one day and we just throw it
Whatever
down.
you want to do. Okay, we're all nobody's gonna make it to the end, but that's what I think. It's only right that they get their 40 on tape here. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
All right.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got San Jose State coming up.
We think we're winning. I think a high-scoring affair. I do. I think they're going to throw it a lot. I think we're going to get back to
I think we have some fun.
I
and
think
I think we
40s
win.
to 30s. I think we're giving up a lot though. 45, 31.
I think we get the sacks dialed up again.
I would love to do that. I would also love if our backup running back got more than 5 yards. I think we need that.
All right, that's it. Go Broncos.
Peace.